The highly publicized shooting of two journalists and a third person in Virginia earlier this week is bringing new attention to a particularly American problem: mass shootings. The U.S. is #1 in mass shootings. With just 5% of the world's population, the U.S. accounts for nearly 1/3 of the world's mass shooters. Let's bring him Adam Langford, a criminologist at the University of Alabama. Adam's just presented a report on the issue to the American Sociological Association. He joins me from Washington. Welcome, Adam. And I just want to talk about the nearly 300 million firearms out there in the hands of the American public. You found the number is just a contributing factor in gun violence. More importantly, in fact, as the Washington Post has paraphrased you, quote, "It is the social strains of American life, the false promise of the American dream, which guarantees a level of success that can't always be achieved through hard work and sheer willpower." Adam, how do the pressures of society translate to more mass shootings?
Well, as you said, I found that overall the United States has about 1/3 of public mass shooters over a more than 40-year span. But in particular, I found that 62% of total shooters at school and workplace settings were in the United States. So the question is, what's going on with our students and employees? And it appears the problem is not simply kind of where they are now. You know, these are not people who are struggling to survive in the literal sense. The problem is the gap between where they are now and their lofty dreams, delusions of grandeur, their sense of entitlement to, and their sense of pressure to achieve, tremendous things. So, essentially it's that gap that causes the strain, and when you add in kind of broken dreams, mental illness, and access to guns, for these specific individuals, it becomes a major problem.
Yeah. In those Virginia slayings, we saw an extensive use of social media by the gunman. Now, while this case isn't technically a mass shooting, how much do you think the need to be recognized plays into the psyche of mass shooters?
Well, it's a major factor. And obviously, this isn't the first time we've seen this. Columbine, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, UC Santa Barbara last summer. These were all incidents where the attackers directly wanted recognition, attention, and fame. In fact, a lot of people don't know that the Sandy Hook shooter who killed those elementary school kids, he had specifically participated in online debates about previous shooters and what made them famous and why, and how he could get fans for mass murder. So the scary thing looking ahead is it seems like these attackers are actually competing with each other for attention, and they either do that by killing more victims or, as we saw this week, killing them differently, right? Shooting people on live TV, filming it himself. He was essentially innovating a new way to get attention. With
all the opportunities, though, that we've had in this country, 90 mass shooters in less than 50 years, have we made any progress whatsoever in learning how to spot potential threats?
Well, I guess the good news, you could say, is that because these attacks are premeditated, that does give us an opportunity, over the weeks and months while they're planning these attacks, to see the warning signs. And sometimes, frankly, they don't keep them really that hidden. So both at Columbine and Virginia Tech, the students submitted creative writing assignments where they'd written about committing shootings, and it wasn't taken seriously then. Now we realize, every threat must be taken seriously. You don't joke about bombs at an airport, and you don't joke about mass shootings.
Right, but Adam, once a potential threat is identified, are the legal and the social service systems in this country, are they equipped to deal with those who pose a potential danger?
Well, that's a problem, and I think the real issue there is kind of the legal restrictions. It's really hard to get someone institutionalized against their will these days. But on this issue of attention, I guess what I would say kind of positively is these attackers want attention, and sometimes they also actually want to be helped. So, I'd encourage people to say, if you know someone who has a problem, reach out to them, give them positive attention in terms of essentially telling them that you want to help them voluntarily get help, and that might avert the next disaster.
All right, from the University of Alabama, Adam Langford, thank you very much. Good discussion. Appreciate it.
Thank you.